Walking is the most accessible movement available to us, possessing a universal appeal that requires no special equipment or training. Despite that popularity, walking has a reputation problem. It is generally viewed as a fallback option, a lesser exercise for those who aren't ready for a real workout at the gym. The clinical reality is even worse. According to the CDC, the majority of people who rely on walking as their primary exercise fail to see any physiological changes. This failure happens because most walkers move too slowly or too infrequently to trigger any metabolic or cardiovascular adaptations. To fix this, we have to define the exact clinical minimums, the specific pace, duration, and frequency required to turn a stroll into a neurobiological intervention. Walking only functions as a Tier 1 exercise if it is treated with the same intentionality and dosing metrics as a prescribed medical treatment. This chart evaluates cardiovascular exercise by plotting the physical strain it causes against the health return on investment it provides. Running offers a massive health return, but it demands a high physical toll, placing it in the top right quadrant. Most people fall into the bottom left. Casual strolling creates very little strain, but it also yields a very low health return. The target is this top left zone. Brisk walking provides high-tier health benefits without punishing the body. A walking-based routine strategically eliminates joint trauma while maintaining a high health return, provided you accept a specific set of trade-offs. We can begin by comparing walking directly against running for the prevention of cardiovascular disease. This scorecard shows that achieving measurable cardiovascular benefits requires a minimum pace of 3.5 miles per hour. That equates to a 17-minute mile. At this pace, the outcomes for blood pressure reduction and mortality match those of high-intensity running. Clinical trials show that adding just 2,000 brisk steps a day can drop systolic blood pressure by 15 points. The catch is the time tax. Because walking is lower intensity, you must spend approximately 25% more time exercising than a runner would to expend the same amount of calories. You effectively bypass the 75% injury rate associated with jogging, but you pay for that safety with longer workout durations and strictly monitored pacing. Walking also generates a chemical return that often outpaces the physical benefits. Securing these neurological gains requires at least 30 minutes of self-directed rhythmic movement. Rhythmic walking stimulates the brain's mesolimbic pathway to release dopamine while simultaneously suppressing cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. This chart shows the result, a 58% reduction in stress among regular walkers. That dopamine release also drives a 45% drop in negative habits like overthinking. This natural chemical shift replaces the urge to seek out artificial dopamine hits, such as junk food or doom scrolling. The trade-off for these mental health benefits is high consistency. Walking acts as a self-administered mood regulator, but it only works as a daily preventative habit rather than a sporadic reaction to stress. When we look at metabolic health, we have to address the most pervasive myth in fitness, the 10,000-step rule. The 10,000-step goal was actually a marketing tactic created by a Japanese pedometer company in the 1960s. It was never a scientific recommendation. This graph maps the actual scientific threshold for longevity, which sits between 7,500 and 8,000 steps per day. Reaching 8,000 steps results in a 51% lower mortality rate compared to a sedentary baseline of 4,000 steps. Pushing toward 10,000 steps or more offers almost no additional mortality benefit, while costing significantly more time. There is also a metabolic benefit to micro-walks, interrupting long periods of sitting with just 3 to 5 minutes of light movement. These brief intervals activate muscle receptors that clear glucose from the blood, which improves insulin sensitivity. Optimizing longevity requires hitting the 8,000-step threshold and breaking up sedentary periods throughout the day. To apply this data, you first need to identify your primary life constraint. This flowchart maps those constraints to a specific protocol. If you are time poor, you must prioritize intensity over duration. Skip the casual walk and maintain a 4.0 mile per hour pace, or use a treadmill incline for 30 minutes. If you are joint conscious, you are prioritizing safety, which requires more time. Aim for 150 minutes a week at exactly 3.5 miles per hour. For the mental health seeker, the environment and the rhythm of the walk are more important than the speed. Prioritize 30 minutes of outdoor, device-free walking to maximize psychological benefits and break bad habit loops. The power of walking lies in calibrating the speed, duration, and environment to solve your specific biological bottleneck. When we strip away the charts, one irreducible rule remains for your daily routine. Hit 8,000 total steps, ensuring at least 30 minutes are done at a pace that feels like you're late for a meeting. Anything below this threshold remains a leisure activity rather than a physiological intervention. Walking becomes a measurable health tool the exact moment you add deliberate intention and a brisk pace to your daily stride.